lads, today we have another Rate My Squads. We missed last week because, well, anyway. So we have a lovely guest on the channel today. We have Jacob. So would you like to introduce yourself?
What's going on, everybody? It's Jacob here, Unbeatable Jacob. Hope everyone's doing well today. Gonna go over a few squads. Lots of good teams out there nowadays, so excited to see what y'all got for sure.
Yeah, so I'm definitely the more lenient on scores, so I'm hoping you'll be there to bring back the scores and be a bit more harsh. I know DBG was last time, so yeah, this should be good. All right, so if you guys want to actually potentially submit your teams, I tweet out normally Saturday. I think this was on Sunday. Tweet out this and then you just post your team. You'll hopefully get in. And in terms of like the parameter this week, there's literally only one. Is if you have Invincible Bol Bol, you get a 10 out of 10. Yeah, so I've looked through a few of them. A few of them don't have Bol Bol, so obviously not everyone is gonna get a 10 out of 10, thankfully. Obviously, you don't have to get a 10 out of 10. You can give like, I don't know, whatever you want. Maybe as Bol Bol and then bronzes. But I have to give a 10 out of 10 if he gets Bol Bol. You can be as lenient or as strict as you want.
Yeah, I'll probably try and be a little more strict. I mean, at this point of the year, there's so many good players and so many good teams. So a squad that might seem like a 9 to 10 to most people, I might just make it a 6 because there's maybe one player I don't love and I feel like could definitely be changed, you know?
It's getting to that point where like people have like dark matter teams and I'm just like, nah, that team's trash because it's like you don't have like the big boy cards. All the time I kept seeing like this was like a few weeks ago, like everyone had Quantum Luca. And I was just like, nah, Quantum Luca's a downgrade now because everyone has him.
Yeah, I mean, as long as Dark Matter Yusuf Nurkic is in this game, nobody with the Dark Matter team's getting a free pass from me, that's for sure.
I had to do a gameplay stream of that. And was you there for that code? Are they like delayed it for like 2 hours?
No, I wasn't up yet when he dropped.
Obviously, the content drops obviously at 11 Eastern. I don't think they dropped the code till like 1. And I was literally there streaming for 2 hours using the Pink Diamond Manute Bol. I was literally just like, guys, if you want him, just go use this one because they're exactly the same.
Literally the same. That was pretty bad, I can't lie.
Alright, we have the first one. We have Harold, avid viewer of the channel. So we have Luca, Jimmy, of course, Bol Bol. So I have to give it a 10 out of 10, but of course, you be as vigilant as you want. Bill Russell, Kristaps, LaMelo, Cliff Robinson, Porter Jr., Daddy Ferry at the 4, an interesting one, and Rudy Gobert.
It's overall a good team, and the thing that kind of like sticks out to me is Danny Ferry at the 4. I think he can get the job done there. Personally, I think the first thing I would try and change would be probably upgrading Jimmy Butler and then sliding Danny Ferry down to the backup 3 and looking for a backup 4. That's what I would first start with.
Yeah, he says, so he's got Luca. He's wanting to move Luca at the 2 when he gets Blake. On that Blake, do you think Blake's worth doing like now?
Not really, no, I don't. I think for a point guard, I think that unless you're just a straight rim runner, I think that LaMelo and Luka is going to be better for you. Obviously, I would say that, you know, you might be able to save a little MT if you sell LaMelo back, but with the stuff like the rewind challenge and everything, it's still going to take MT to get that Blake. So, you know, I think that it's maybe not all that important to have him. He just doesn't feel like a point guard to me. So that just leaves him at the power forward spot to play. And there's so many good power forwards in this game.
I remember like when he got announced, I was like, right, this is cool. And 2K do what 2K do. They somehow make a good idea and a very bad one. I don't see the point in those like reward season rewind players anymore. Unless there's some like crazy, like you get Invincible Manute Bol for doing them. Like I don't see the benefit of doing them anymore. Like I stopped after like 2. I have to give it a 10 out of 10, but I think regardless, I'd probably still give it like a solid 9. I'm not a fan of Jimmy. Point guards, I think you're fine. Small forwards, fine. Again, Danny Ferry at the 4 is a bit odd, but maybe he can do a job there. What's your thoughts on Gobert?
So I've used him only like in freestyle by using custom created MyTeam roster because I haven't got him. He's pretty good. You know, the biggest thing I think a lot of people don't know or think about too much with their center, especially at more of a casual level, is how well they play pick and roll defense. In my opinion, I think that's the most important thing for a center. You don't really know how that's going to feel with a card until you use them in game, but I think with Rudy Gobert's wingspan, he should be able to close gaps, get chase downs and things like that in the pick and roll. So I think he's totally fine there. And the more I think about this, I would say it's like probably a 7 right now. I would think if he can get Blake, Danny Ferry to the backup 3, or Porter, doesn't matter, and then run Blake at the backup 4, and then replace Jimmy, I think he's looking at like a 9.5.
All right, on to the next one. We have Luca, KD, Manute, Horace Grant, and James Wiseman. That's a very tall team. Draymond, Clay, Danny Ferry, Cook Coach, and Will. Oh, hold on. Sorry, someone just subbed to the channel. Anyway,
W sub.
dude, it's become like a trend now. Like I recall, someone will sub, and I just have to keep it in because it's just cool. Danny, Kukoc, and Wilt Chamberlain. So I will say he is a Warriors fan. So first impression is decent. Obviously, you're more of a next gen person. I can't stand next gen personally. So I'll let you take the reins on this one, being that you are the next gen person.
Yeah, I'm happy you said it was decent because, you know, I got to be a little more harsh on this one. If I come up against a team like this, I just got to lick my chops, man. There is no shot that he is stopping my pick and rolls with a team like this, with Wiseman and Manute on the court in a pick and roll situation. I can manually call for screens with my small forward, put Manute in that pick and roll. Wiseman is incredible, possibly the best offensive center in the game on next gen. I would say so. That Curry base is definitely nice. His movement on offense is great, but his pick and roll defense is definitely leaving something to be desired. I know he has like an 89 lateral quickness. Whereas Grant, definitely mediocre at best. Big holes in this lineup defensively. As a Warriors fan, I get it. There's a lot of ways that I think this lineup could be exposed. It's a good lineup. I'm not gonna say you can't win games with it, but when you're coming up against some of the other lineups we might see, especially in a good player's hands, there's definitely some holes that can be exposed.
Apart from that, like, you have 500k. In terms of the actual team, obviously, I'll just go off on current gen, and I don't like Wiseman on current gen. I think he got outdated very quickly. You have 500k. I think there's room to work with on that. Obviously, KD at shooting guard, I'm a massive fan of. I'd probably go with a 6.5, and that's just because Danny Ferry and KD are holding the score up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him like a 5.5 or 6.
So I'm going with 6.5. You're going with a 6 or 5.5?
Yeah, we'll just give him a 6. 930 MT. I don't know.
Didn't even notice that.
I don't know where to go with this.
Obi Toppin, big fan. Yi, T-Mac, Danny Ferry, and Kat, Denny, Kevin Porter, Tony Kukoc, Marvin Bagley, and Bam Adebayo. No Knicks players on the final 3. I'm very disappointed in you, Lewis. All right, so I don't know where to start with this. I really don't. Mac at the 3, not a big fan, I'll be honest. Danny at the 4, again, not a massive fan. 900 MT, in terms of like a budget team, is very strong.
Very hard for me to rate this, but I can definitely say what should be done even with this low MT amount, which would be selling Tracy McGrady, buying Pink Diamond Bol, be patient, find one on the auction house that's very cheap, under 20k, with extra Hoff badges, maybe Showtime or clamps added, with possibly a diamond shoe, and you can get one of those at the right time for about 20k, so that's enough MT if you sell T-Mac to do that. And now you're gonna move Danny Ferry to the 3 instead of T-Mac, put Bol at the starting 4, and then your lineup's starting to come together. Right now, I don't know. There's a lot of issues.
Obviously, T-Mac, he does look pretty, obviously being a dark Mac. I think T-Mac's just gonna, I don't know if he's gonna keep coming down in price, but he will be cheap now for the rest of the game. And he's not first owner as well, so you can't even say like, oh, but it's first owner. In terms of an actual score, Obi Toppin gets you a little bonus point. Also, he is a good player as well. So it's probably like the lowest score I think I've given. I'd personally go with a 5 for me. If you could get rid of T-Mac and chuck in Bol, then that like shoots it up to probably like a 7.
I think that if he makes a few moves, I'll give him like a 3 right now. Because if I match up with a lineup like this, I'm winning the game every single time. Even if what I think he could do to get this to like a 7 real quick would be, even if he doesn't sell T-Mac, if he can just muster up enough MT to get that Bol.
I personally, this is just me personally, I'd get rid of KPJ and get Matisse Thybulle. So previously, right, previous to all this like YouTube stuff, I did a lot of like bronze benching, we'll say. I run Matisse Thybulle, and his release is literally the smoothest release I've used all year. And also, did you know his silver could get corner specialist and clamps?
Really? Yeah. See, that's an overall cheese's dream right there.
Already know that's what we were doing. And because he was a silver, everyone would sag on him. It was amazing. Especially like with the new like flash set. There's so many pick diamonds that you could just run. Like obviously, maybe instead of Obi Toppin, maybe get Tyler Hero. Because I do like Tyler Hero. There's so many just budget cards.
I think selling Cat and getting Dino would be an upgrade too.
Yeah, so I went with a 5 and you're a current 3. Sorry, Lewis.
Yeah, sorry, man, but hey, you know, take our advice a little bit and definitely gonna be moving and grooving.
We have Ben Simmons, Kawhi, Bol, Michael Porter Jr., Bill Russell. Obviously, Bol, instant 10 out of 10. But I think it's very close to getting a 10 out of 10 anyway. Porter Jr., Elgin Baylor, Antoine, Chris Webber, and James Wiseman. Run at the rim of 300 with Bol Bol. Oh, Dave, you're a scumbag. Anyway. And he also says he's saving up for Shaq. As someone who has Shaq, do not do that. Get Giannis instead. I struggle between like him or Kristaps being the best center in the game. In terms of like this actual Paul Jr. at the 4?
No, I think right now off rip, I gotta give it like a 7 out of 10. Because I think that a lineup like this would get snagged on against somebody who's running like a Kristaps and Bol Bol front court, or somebody who's running like a Mutombo. Or even if you come up with a guy, I mean, you never know. You might match up with somebody who's got Mutombo and Kareem out there, or Shaq and Mutombo out there for the front court.
I was gonna say, this is a very small team.
Yeah, exactly. This is like one or two adjustments away from being a legitimate 10 out of 10. It's got to be like a 7 for me, just strictly based on the fact that I just know a team like this is gonna get out rebounded consistently.
I can't believe I just said Ben Simmons a point guard and the team will struggle to rebound. That's actually that's just how far this game. That's just how far this game has come. So I have to go 10. You're going to 7.
I give it a 7.5, and I think that you're like 2 moves away from being close to a 10.
I will say this team is disgusting.
Yeah, this is definitely gonna be the highest rated for me so far.
Alright, Luka, Kawhi, KD, Bol Bol, Bill Russell, LaMelo, Zach LaVine, Antoine, Michael Porter Jr. Porter Jr. at the 4 again, and Cat. Alright, so I have to go 10 out of 10, of course, because Bol Bol. The amount of Bol Bols I'm seeing, but I haven't actually matched up with one yet. This is very close to a 10 out of 10 anyway. He says you have 800k.
It's very, very good. It's very, very good. Probably my favorite lineup I've seen so far in this video. I think that half of the appeal for that Bol Bol is the fact that you can run him at the 3.
Like, even just in limited, like, people are terrified of Bol Bol. It literally, my first game of limited, it didn't even load the rim. Like, the guy was literally gone. Like, within milliseconds.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, Bol Bol's like arguably the best card in the game.
Yep. Overall, I got to give it an 8. But I mean, the thing about it is, if you have 800k MT, you can turn this into a 10 out of 10 pretty quickly.
Zach LaVine, I haven't used the splash one, but I've used his Dartmouth. I wasn't a massive fan, which is saying something for me because I do love people who can dunk. But yeah, like LaMelo, love him. Antoine, he was decent. Porter, he's alright. Cat's very subjective. You either love Cat or you literally despise the card. Yeah, obviously, I get 10 out of 10, and you're going with an 8. Right.
Like that.
It's literally a full invincible team. Right. It doesn't have Bol Bol, though. God damn, this team is ridiculous. He's on next gen. All cards are fully badged with at least gold blinders. And he says those MT making videos really paid off. So, you know, I gotta slide that in there. That team is ridiculous. I will say, he does have Allen Iverson on the bench. I don't know whether T-Mac plays instead of it.
Dudes are gonna hate me for what I'm about to say.
Oh, God.
Dudes are gonna hate me for what I'm about to say.
I'm prepared.
I don't like it at all.
What?
I really don't. It's pretty. The invincible cards are pretty. But I hope that you are absolutely chicken man down to one of the best on your server, because I've came up against a lot of Dwight Howards. I've came up against a lot of KDs. I've came up against a lot of Jordans, came up against a lot of Tim Duncans, came up against a lot of Dirks, came up against a lot of Oscars. Their jump shots aren't that great. They aren't. Yes, Dwight Howard's an invincible card.
You will respect that Kevin Durant's jumper.
I don't think KD's bad on very quick at all. That's not one of the ones I'm worried about. I know this is pretty. I know what you're going for with the all-invincible lineup, but there's a reason that some of these cards are invincible and starting to get down to that 200k price range. You know, you're talking about Oscar at 150, White at 200k with somebody like Kawhi, or even Josh Smith, the backup too, is going to score on top of Iverson every single time. I'll post spin him. It doesn't matter. I think that, you know, if you just rearrange these players even, I think that it's very easy 10 out of 10.
I will say, I don't know how he plays, but I can't see him putting in AI over T-Mac. Obviously, Allen Iverson might be his favorite player ever. As me personally, was played more than 2 minutes of this game. I just don't see any situation where Allen Iverson was in over T-Mac, I'll be honest.
No, I would hope not. But either way, you know, like I said, it's a great team. I mean, look at it. It's all invincible. I just think that you could rearrange a few things. You probably have a better time, but with a lineup like this, dudes might just be quitting out anyways. Yeah,
that's what I mean. Like, he might not even get into the game, but just straight up just see the lineup, just I'm out.
I mean, for all I know, if this dude just passes the ball to LeBron and 3 hunts with him forget about everything else, pass and screen away, and just let him go to work, then then it's a 10 out of 10.
Unless you're starting AI over T-Mac, to which case then you might have an issue, but I'll have to go 10 out of 10 just because it's ridiculous.
Yeah. 100%. You got to give it a 10 out of 10. I just think that there's ways this could be rearranged to be a little better.
All right, we have Luca, Kobe, Jimmy, Bill, Bol Bol at the center. Derek Rose, censored, Van Arsdale. Juan Toscano. Okay. There's a few issues. One's probably Derek Rose. I do like D-Rose, but I'm a bit salty because 2K did kind of tease that it would be a Knicks Derek Rose, so I'm a little salty about that.
He's one of those reward cards that are bad. They're simply bad. The dude has like February type badges, so
yeah, I'm struggling with this one. I don't want to give it lower than a 5. Starters are really good, but I think positionally, especially Juan Toscano on the bench, I'll go like a 6 for me personally, and that's me being generous.
Yeah, I'll give it like a 4. And if like you're joking with the Juan Toscano thing and you actually have a different player to play there, I could probably move you up to like a 5.5 or something like that. But like, come on, I know you know better. I know you know better.
I would generally, you see that Daikon Cook at the end?
He's an Emerald Demon.
I generally would put him a power forward rather than Juan Toscano. Obviously, might be a Mad Warriors fan, who knows, but like, it's like me running the Dartmouth Carmelo. Like, I know he's not great, but I just have to. It's Carmelo, and we need an invincible Carmelo. Please, 2K.
I agree.
But yeah,
definitely.
I give it I think I give it a 6, and you give it a 4?
Yeah, I'd be fine giving it a 6 as well, as long as the Juan Toscano goes. I mean, go spend 20K on a Dino, and you're at a 6.
All right then, lads. So that's going to do it for Rate My Squads. Massive thank you to Jacob for being a lovely guest on the channel. Definitely more harsh, I think, than myself, which is always something we like to see. So where can people go to find you?
Yeah, man, I appreciate coming on. It was a lot of fun. I saw a lot of teams I liked, and there wasn't any terrible teams out there that aren't 1 or 2 moves away. So definitely happy to see some of your guys' teams coming along pretty well in the end game times here. If you guys want to check me out, I do more Twitch than I do YouTube. I upload a couple times a week, but just type in UnbeatableJacob on any platform and you'll probably find me. Just UnbeatableJacob everywhere. So yeah, I appreciate you having me on, Josh. It was definitely a lot of fun, man.
He says as his Twitter handle is Jacob Unbeatable.
All right, yeah, I guess maybe rearrange the words on different platforms. If you can't find me, you'll get it.
Right. All his links will be in the pinned comment as well as in the description. So go check him out. Well, I usually every time I look at his channel, he's streaming. So yeah, he's a very avid streamer. But boys, that's gonna do it for the video. If you guys have enjoyed, smash like on the video because it does help out the channel an absolute ton. It lets YouTube let me put food on the table, so to speak. But yeah, that's gonna do it for the video. Actually, guys, later. Take care. Give a massive shout out to channel members Mario Santos, Michael, Lewis, Lindsay, Knell, Kev, and Hans, Wallow, Casey, Magic Magpie, Michael, Kia, and Jack. Thank you guys so much for all your support.